Hello, this is Dr. Brian Wallum with RX Vitamins for Pets, and this webinar is about integrating natural kidney formulas into your existing protocols. And let's start with taking a look at what's called the biological terrain. It's the extracellular fluid environment and its physiological capacity to ensure protective stability for the tissues and organs of dogs, cats, you, me, rabbits, giraffes, whatever, multicellular living organisms. In other words, it's about the soil. Just like the soil in a plant, the better the soil, the better the plant is going to survive and grow. And what we want to do is figure out how to best support a pet's tissues and organs. Now, Virchow, the father of modern pathology, said, "If I could live my life over again, I'd devote it to proving that germs seek their natural habitat, which is diseased tissue, rather than being the cause of diseased tissue." And this might be a little bit of a paradigm shift for some of you watching this and listening, but we will explain it a little bit more here. So animals are programmed for health and balance, and health is the state of all cells functioning properly. So why do cells start working improperly? Now, there are only two reasons animals get sick, and I'll give you a second to think of what they might be, and I'm going to give you the answer. They're either toxic with something and typically it's both, they are deficient in something. And the goal of a nutraceutical is to help flush out toxins and replace cell deficiency, or, big picture, improve the biological terrain of the animal. So let's take a look at simple kidney function. Kidneys are a filter, and blood flows through the kidneys 365 days a year, 24/7. And inside the kidneys, we have these millions of little nephrons. They are the filters of the blood. They recapture minerals. They filter the blood. They decide what's going out in the urine, what's getting recaptured and used in the body. Now, the blood is 60% plasma, 40% erythrocytes, carries oxygen, carries large quantities of carbonic anhydrase, which I'm going to show you where that importance is in a moment, helps to remove CO2 from the tissue, particularly lung and kidneys, and transport nutrients from the digestive system to the cells. Now, incomplete oxidation of foods, and visit the enzyme webinar for a little bit more in depth about this. If carbohydrates aren't broken down all the way, they create lactic acid. If fats aren't broken down all the way, they create keto acids. And you don't want acid buildup in the body. Now, complete oxidation of food is dependent on oxygen, enzymes functioning properly, pH balance being correct, and insulin. And complete oxidation of carbohydrates and fats creates approximately 20,000 millimoles of carbon dioxide a day. And that's a lot. Body has to get rid of that somehow. Now, the urine contains urea, creatinine, uric acid, urates. The kidneys regulate the excretion of sodium, potassium, chloride, and hydrogen ions. And whatever the body's accumulated in excess, it's going to mostly try and find its way into the kidneys for removal. And the kidneys remove 97% of carbon dioxide, which is an acid created from daily metabolic respiration. So well-functioning kidneys are very important for overall health. Now, the overworked, underpaid kidneys, they release erythropoietin, they regulate extracellular fluid, they regulate the body fluid's pH, and they use what's called the bicarbonate buffer system to remove most of the acids, along with some other buffer systems. And how do the kidneys handle all these metabolic acids? The bicarbonate buffer system, that's the primary buffer system of the body. There's also the protein buffer system, ammonia buffer system, and the phosphate buffer system. And you have to have adequate supplies of sodium and potassium for these primary buffer systems to work. And the bicarbonate buffer system, and this is how that CO2 is removed, you're going to get CO2 combines with water, makes carbonic anhydrase, and then it goes to bicarbonate and hydrogen. Now, carbonic anhydrase is zinc dependent, so if the PET is low in zinc, that will inhibit this ability to buffer the acid of CO2. And remember that acids are a normal part of normal byproduct of metabolism. Also remember the internal milieu. If you throw the pH off of the body systemically, you begin to affect enzyme function throughout the system. We cannot function without proper enzyme function. And also remember, the kidneys work 24/7, 365. They're like the oil filter on your car. They can get clogged up, and they do need occasional cleansing. So you don't only have to use nutraceuticals when you find a problem, but you can use them prophylactically to help flush out the kidneys every 3 or 4 months on a pet. So RX Vitamins for Pets has a renal formula for both cats and dogs, and it contains hawthorn, astragalus, dong quai, ginkgo, green tea, milk thistle, rhubarb, and acetylcysteine, all things that help flush out the kidneys and support kidney tissue. We've also got our Phosbind, which binds to dietary phosphorus in the bowel for improved kidney health and function. And then a third formula, in chronic renal conditions you can have a low dietary potassium. Our Amino B plus K formula is designed to add potassium when needed in the diet. If you have any questions, certainly email me, which you can find on the website, or call my cell right here. Thank you for listening. This is Dr. Brian Wallum with RX Vitamins for Pets.